Hello dears, welcome to the second part of Everything I Need to Learn I Learned from the Forest, which is an essay written by Vandana Shiva, the great environmental activist. During the first part of this essay, she is describing about her transformation as a forest conservator or an environmental activist. It is due to the influence of her parents. Her father was a forest conservator and her mother was a farmer. She involved in the Chipco movement where the peasant women participated in abundance to protect the Himalayan trees. By seeing the disappearance of Himalayan forests, she has become a volunteer for the Chipco movement. During her vacations, she conducted padayatras, that is walking pilgrimages, in order to send or in order to spread the message of Chipco movement. She is telling about an incident in which the forester is explaining deforestation is so good because it's a huge profit for forests while we are selling trees. That is, we will get enough and more money out of the timber, resin, and other things of a tree. But the women sank back, or women replied to that forest officer that uh, forest is more valuable to protect our water, soil, and air. And earth needs forest to protect all that she bears. That is, all the living things that she bears need good earth, good soil, and good water. For that purpose, earth or forests or trees are needed. The next part is named as Beyond Monocultures. What's meant by monoculture? Monoculture means a singular culture. We know that the earth is blessed with biodiversity. A number of organisms are there living on this earth. We cannot remove any one of them. It will harm the environment. If we are cutting down trees, almost all these organisms will lose their habitat and they will lose their house. Then they will ruin. This is so harmful for the earth as well as the other living organisms. With this perspective, she has introduced the Navadhanya farm. She has introduced the crop of almost nine grains as well as huge varieties of food uh, and grains. With this, she taught the farmers to make a transition from fossil fuel and chemical based monocultures to biodiverse ecological systems nourished by the sun and the soil. So here we know that in our concept, fuel is either it is based on fuel fossil, that is coal and petroleum fuel are used abundantly by the human beings, or other chemical based fuels are also there. That is, we know that energy is also made out of chemical energy. Anyway, Vandana Shiva was against this. She taught the farmers that the sun and the soil are the sources of energy. So use it wisely, then they can harvest uh, very good or very beautifully from this earth. In the next session, she is telling about the nature as a teacher. The nature is teaching us a lot of things. It's a great educator. We are inseparable part of nature and we cannot live without nature, without the harmony with nature. In 2011, at the United Nations General Assembly, the United Nations Secretary General reported that harmony with nature is very important. We should have to make peace with nature, then only we can survive on this earth. We are inseparable parts of this nature, so we cannot separate ourselves from nature. Then we should have to protect nature. If we are damaging nature, we are damaging ourselves. We cannot separate ourselves from nature. We are one with nature. Here she remembers a South African environmentalist by name Cormac Cullinan, who has defined um, the deforestation or destruction of nature in terms of the African apartheid. Apartheid means separating one culture or one race from the other. So it is not at all a good practice. Like that, we cannot separate ourselves from nature. This is the idea put forward by the South African environmentalist Cormac Cullinan. We should have to overcome apartheid. Apartheid means you must have heard this word apartheid, that is the color discrimination, in which both the blacks and whites are being separated. Surely, obviously, the whites have introduced this apartheid because they thought that the blacks are inferior to them. This is the concept. Here, Cormac Cullinan is explaining that we should have to abolish, we should have to put away eco-apartheid, that is separatism from nature. We cannot separate ourselves from nature because we are one with nature. Nature is our mother, earth is our mother. Here Vandana Shiva is telling about the age from which we have become separated from the earth. She is finding out that after the Industrial Revolution, men separated from earth. Everything is being generated in factories. So there is no, that is, men began to think that there is no need of nature or no need of earth at all. It was really after the industrialization, war against the earth began. That means people began to exploit nature abundantly to a large extent that caused the destruction of nature as well as forests. If we are continuing these kinds of exploitation or these kinds of separateness, what will happen? The earth will become a dead matter. That is, life on this earth is no more possible. This will happen, surely happen on this earth. So we have to protect nature without being separated from it, because we were born from nature. We are one with nature. We have to abolish all kinds of eco-apartheid. That is, we are putting this nature away from us. It is not at all a kind of segregation. That is, we should not segregate nature from us. We are one with nature. We are born into nature. So it's our duty to protect nature without destructing nature and forests. Hope you got a notion on this chapter by Vandana Shiva. That is everything I needed to know. I learned in the forest. Forest is everything. Without forest, we cannot survive. It's very essential, or it's very essential for all living beings, including man. So we should have to protect nature. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.